All right, then good morning, good afternoon again, everyone. Thanks for joining us for our Enterprise Alert 9 What's New session. We're very excited to be walking you through the new features of our latest release and are happy to take any questions that you'll have towards the end. Again, it'd be great if you could all go on mute. And Patrick, let's advance to the first slide. I'm just going to do a little bit of a wrapper here. You all know us, so I think we don't need to do other introductions. From my end, just want to give you a little bit of a context here, what we had in mind, where we stand, and then I'm going to pass this over directly to Patrick for the hands-on and the actual feature walkthrough. So just a little bit of background. We've really had a great last year with onboarding 14 new customers, which is a great new business increase there for us. A lot of customer from very different verticals as well. So we've seen a lot of interest coming out from production IT scenarios. We've gone way beyond just IT. Some of you know that because you are in that very area. Our customers have also grown in terms of additional countries that we've added to the list. Still, our stronghold, as you know, is the North American market and the Western European market. But we've really been exposed to a lot of very interesting use cases that we also started cross-referencing with other customers. So some of you know that we have these meetings where we share use case scenarios that others have with you in order to allow you to get the most out of your platform. The most important thing for us with everything that's going on in the world right now has really been the transparency, making sure that we get the message out. Obviously, it has been very limited in terms of being able to visit you as our customers or meet at trade shows or have actual physical events like our usual user group meetings. So we have heavily been able to rely on reviews, and we're very happy with a lot of the reviews that we've seen coming in from you, because this is really the main thing that helps us to scale, that helps us to get the message out and make sure that others see the ratings that you're providing. You see these badges that we always have from G2 Crowd there in our signatures. We've added another platform onto that, which is Capterra. Customers that we have talked to will know that we do frequently request those reviews, so keep them coming because they're really great. And they actually encourage us and they help us to prioritize things and to feel like really empowered by you as our users for future product releases, one of which we're going to introduce to you today, which is Enterprise Alert 9. So we're very proud to show this to you today. As most of you know, Enterprise Alert 9 has been officially available for a week now. The official launch was last week, Tuesday, April 13th. Some of you are already actively updating their test environments to the new release. And as we already did with Enterprise Alert 2019, we have adapted our licensing model to basically meet various requirements that are purely user-based to make us better in terms of being comparable to other solutions out there in the market, and most importantly, to also allow smaller companies to benefit from what Enterprise Alert has to offer. This was very successful with Enterprise Alert 2019, and so of course we're going to continue the same user-based licensing with Enterprise Alert 9. What that also means for you is that you'll see quite some additional functionality coming to you, because we'll put you on the plans that we have with Enterprise Alert 9, which means for some of you that you'll inevitably inherit some additional features that you did not have before because they may have been part of another edition. A large motivation for us to actually, while we were developing Enterprise Alert 9, was the ability to be more flexible when new technologies come out, to increase our agility and make sure that we are seen by all the new kids on the block that come out in your monitoring help desk and other scenarios. So really you will see by what Patrick will show you, particularly around the two-way REST API and some other connectors that we've added, that a large focus of Enterprise Alert 9 has really been geared towards making new technologies accessible faster, while at the same time granting you the ease of use by setting these up that you're used to from us. Also, there is a stronger tie with our cloud solution that I think most of you know and have already been exposed to one way or the other, Signal 4. So you'll see that there is a lot of advantages and cross references here between the two products. And without further ado, I think most of you are really waiting to see the product live in action. So let's kick this off, Patrick, and let's pass over to you so that our customers and partners can actually take a look at the solution. I'll go mute, but I'll be here.
Okay, thank you very much. All right, well, welcome. It's good to see everybody here. For those who don't know me, my name is Patrick, one of the senior IT consultants here, in charge of deployments and technical pre-sales, things like that. So the overview of the features here. Basically, what we're going to do is kind of bounce back and forth between the slide deck that you see here in the actual product. So each individual one of these sections here, we're going to go through, highlight a few points here on the slide, and then actually dive in to the product itself. So just real quick, some of the things that we're going to cover here today. We have a new theme, so we have dark mode in the web portal here. We had a lot of requests for the multi-team schedules, being able to copy and paste those, just having an ease of use of, expanding your schedules out and not having to spend the time that you're spending there. The on-call overview for the support and multi-team shifts. Before we'll get into how that's displayed on the Who's on Call page. As Doreen said, we have new connectors, so we're excited to show you those. Again, two-way REST is one of the major powerful things here in EA9, and then we do have a new online knowledge base that we're going to introduce you to. So first and foremost, dark mode in the web portal. Okay, so basically there's just a new theme available. Now we still have the classic view, which is the white and blue here, but now we're able to shift this over to a dark mode. One of the benefits here is it's user based. It's tied to your login. Okay, so if we jump over to the web portal, all right, this is the classic view that we're used to seeing, the EA we know and love. But if we come down here at the bottom, there's a little classic toggle switch. All right, so if we come in and we select dark mode, it automatically just goes through and changes everything. All right, so a little bit easier to read here. Things stand out and pop a little bit more. If we take a look at our alerts, we see all the dark mode features. Okay, so we'll just kind of navigate around here a little bit, show you how it looks. Now, again, this is tied to my login. So if I set the dark mode here where I'm at and I switch locations, I log in somewhere else, it's automatically going to recognize that dark mode for me. Okay, so I don't have to switch this every time I move terminals or stations and things like that. This can be set organization wide. Here in the web config, there is a default color theme. So we can set this to dark and it can be dark for everybody. And they don't have to go through and actually switch that over. Okay, so we know dark mode was something that, a lot of people asked for. So here you go. Multi-team improvements. All right, so the copy function, we started this within Signal 4, got a lot of positive feedback here, and then we're like, let's move this over into EA9. So what we're able to do here in the multi-team schedules is copy and paste existing shifts. Okay, this is going to allow you to set one shift one time and then copy it forward a number of times in the future. Okay, it's going to make planning your shifts a lot easier. And we'll also show you how you can now display your multi-team schedules on the Who's on Call page. Okay, so let's take a look at that. Right now, here's the on-call page. All right, and we see that we have demo security team here. We do have a multi-team schedule in place. This is the follow the sun schedule here that we have. But notice how on the Who's on Call page, it doesn't show up right there. Okay, so if I go into my demo security team, now we're going to be able to pull in the multi-team schedule here on the Who's on Call page and show which team is actually on duty. we come over here to Teams, and we look at our demo security team, we have a new checkbox here. All right, so show who's on call for the multi-team schedule. We put a checkbox here in this team. Save this. Go back over to the who's on call page, and now we see the follow the sun multi-team schedule shows up, and the demo security team is the one that's actually on call. This is dynamic, so of course, once the handover happens and the next team is on duty, it's going to automatically switch itself. Okay. Just going to allow greater visibility here for your multi-team schedules. Okay. Now, when we go to the multi-team schedules, let's show you this copy and paste feature that we put in. So if we take the demo security team and we populate it in, all right, let's just give it a couple of hours here. We're going to put the applications team in below that. All right, let's say maybe we duplicate this for the next day. Oops. Let's put that over there. Okay, so now we have our schedule set. Okay. Well, in the past, we've had to go through and copy it from week to week to week. But now what we're able to do is if we click in here at the beginning of the shift, we have a set copy start. If we click on the end of the shift, we can then end the copy. And this is going to highlight this section here. Okay. If we come back over to the next day, we can go through and paste the selection that we have. And this gives you the the pop-up box here. You can set it like this initially, but we find that clicking is a little bit easier there. So we have our start shift and our end. Of course, the days and times you can change here. And then the destination that we want to copy it to. If we copy this 6 times, it's going to go through and copy the shift going forward. Okay, so you can imagine if you set your shifts Monday through Friday, you would copy through from Sunday to Saturday, and you would be able to keep those weekend shifts and have a Monday through Friday copy scheduled going forward. Okay, so this is in the weekly view. Of course, we can do this in the monthly view, but hopefully that this copy and paste feature here, so if we come down here, there's a little button to copy shifts. You can manually select the things instead of clicking if you want, but you can set your date and your time there, the destination that you want to copy it forward, and then how many times you want to do that. Okay. Any questions here? I think Robert's monitoring the chat, so if you guys have any questions here.
Real quick, we had one question about the dark mode. They were asking if dark mode applies to the mobile app or just the web portal.
Right now, it's just the web portal. Would you like to see it in the mobile app? Guess we'll put that to the whole group here. But right now, dark mode is only available for the web portal. Okay. Any questions on the copying and pasting of the schedules? No? All right. Robert, just let me know if one pops in.
Patrick, everyone's waiting for the anonymous Q&A at the end of this.
I think so. Okay, that's fine. We'll be here at the end. All right, so this is exciting here for us. I hope you find the benefit there. Here we put in here new no-code and low-code connectors. So, we, like Doreen said, we understand technologies are always changing. We want to make these easier for you here. So we're trying to put in as many connectors here as possible. So instead of looking at a slide, let's just take a look at some of the new features that we have from our event sources. First thing, this is the same screen that we saw before. This is all the existing connectors that we already have set up in my demo environment here. Now, when I click on new source, we're all used to seeing a drop-down menu. Well, no more drop-downs, no more, going through, scrolling through, finding out what you want. Now we have this nice little tile gallery here. Okay, so this provided us a lot of benefits here. you'll see, of course, we have little descriptions here, but we've added Azure Monitor, Azure Sentinel, ConnectWise Manage, SMAX, from the Micro Focus side. Some of the ones that we are excited to offer here is the new S7 connector, telecom cloud of things. But one of the things that we found and had feedback on is, when I selected that drop-down menu in the past, I got a screen that looked something like this. Okay, but what do I do with this? Okay, what are the fields that need to be put in here? Sure, I can hover over the tooltips and it can help me out here. But the gallery is going to go one step further. Okay, so for Azure Monitor, for example, now we're providing instructions on how to actually implement the integration going forward. Okay, so for Azure Monitor, there's a script that you can run that actually provides you with all of the output that you need to put into the connector. Okay, so no more guessing, hunting, and picking around, figuring out what your tenant ID is or your application ID. Certain things like this, we're actually providing scripts in the background that you can go through and you can run. Now, these scripts are installed automatically on the server, and we can point out all the destinations there for those. Okay, so a lot of the different connectors that we have, all the different deployment procedures, all listed out here, and it kind of goes through and tells you what you have to put in and where you get that information to begin with. Okay. Take a look at the SMAX connector here. This is kind of a good highlight to go through and says, first we need to create these fields, so it gives you that walkthrough. Okay. We're constantly upgrading the integration page on the website. So all of this stuff is available there, sure, but we wanted to put it inside the program here too. Okay, what do you guys think about the new gallery with the instructions on how to implement these?
Looks great.
Great. Good to hear. All right. We do have a new runtime environment, Node.js, that runs in the background. All of these packages are installed with the new installation. Okay, so everything is available there to you. The Node.js in the background, basically, that's going to give us a lot of flexibility here. Okay, not only with the new connectors that we have in place, but also with our new two-way REST API. Okay, so we could talk for an hour on the two-way REST here, but basically the gist of it all is we want to be able to talk back to any third-party system. Okay, the smart connectors are great. We do that background integration work on our end, but if we don't have that connector yet, but maybe you have something like Dynatrace, for instance, in the background, we want you to be able to talk back to Dynatrace and update the status from any API that's available out there. Okay, so let's take a look at all that. Now I'm just going to generate a couple of errors here within Dynatrace. Forgive the rester. So now, we go through, we've generated a couple of events. All right, we're going to wait for these events to come through. Dynatrace takes a few minutes to make sure that the problem is actually there, and then it will send it over to EA. So in the meantime, while we're waiting for these to come through, let's take a look using our gallery at the two-way REST connector. Okay, now any connections that you have existing, any REST APIs that you already have existing right now, will have this additional functionality to go two ways as soon as you install EA9. Okay, so we create these the exact same ways we did before. We're going to give it a name. We have this API key. What's new is this little box. Okay, the little checkbox is going to enable Enterprise Alert to use a webhook URL that we put in here and talk back to that system. Okay, now we do realize that every system is different. Okay, of course the URL and the API, all that stuff is there, the tokens, authentications that need to happen. But more importantly, sometimes is the parameters that need to be passed back. Okay, so in order to help facilitate and kind of customize this, let's take a look at the one we already have in place. All right, so here's my Dynatrace API. All right, this URL goes to the instance that we have with the associating API key that Dynatrace requires. All right, but you see here, now we have a customized Node.js source file, and this is where that new functionality is going to come into play. Main.js is, well, let me back up a second. As soon as we check this box and enable the two-way REST, it's going to put the Node.js files, all the associating files that need to go, with the two-way communication, is going to be automatically written within the file structure on the server. Modifying this main.js file is going to allow you to put in the required parameters that need to go through to that system. Okay, and of course, support is going to be able to help you identify, where to put these things in. There's going to be a detailed blog post and probably a video that you can watch for us to, the different examples that we show here for this. Coming soon. Robert and I are working on that. So basically, again, in Dynatrace, we set up a notification profile to go to this API. We're going to see this come through as an incoming event. And when we acknowledge these alerts, we're going to see the target URL be used for the actual acknowledgements, any annotations that come, as well as the closures on events. Okay. So we take a look here. We generated one in the background. We have this performance event. And let me pull up the alert that was actually raised. Okay. And that was perfect timing. So now, all right, let's go through. We see our alerts. This is the alert that we just, two alerts that we just raised here. All right, so this is all the information that's coming from Dynatrace. All right. And what we're gonna see, let's go through this first alert. And I'm gonna first acknowledge it, of course. So I'll say I'm on it. Okay.
We had a quick question come in, Patrick.
Sure.
Are the legacy SOAP calls still supported for backwards compatibility, or does the REST API replace it?
As far as talking back using SOAP, we need, at this point, it's only with the REST. But let me get back to you if we can. Let me get back to you on what we need to do in order to make SOAP work too. Good question though. So we have this alerted here. I'm on it, and if we come back over to Dynatrace, and we are going to need to go into the actual event. 439, was that it? Oh, oops. I hit the wrong one. This was the performance event. Sorry about that. So here we go, 439. This is the alert that we saw here come up. Now it shows my name has acknowledged the alert via enterprise alert with the comment of I'm on it. So it takes our acknowledgement and two, our annotations. If we go back into the alert, and I add additional annotations, I need help. And I annotate this alert here like this. Refreshing is going to post a comment back. Okay, so here now I need help. Okay, and what we're doing here is we're using the acknowledgements and the annotations and things like that and just pushing these calls over. We're posting comments to the actual alert itself. Of course, we're acknowledging it, and then finally we'll go through and we will close this alert out. All right, we fixed it. Reloading this just so we don't have to wait the minute for it to refresh. Now we see it was manually closed via enterprise alert with my comment of fixed it. Okay, so all this is using that two-way REST. And we notice now that this is grayed out because this is how Dynatrace looks like when an alert's closed. Okay, it's no longer open, it's not red anymore. And if we go back over here to our problems, we'll only see the one that we didn't do anything with. Okay, so in the workflows, we go through, we acknowledge it, we annotate it, all that information, comments, statuses, users are being pushed into Dynatrace. Dynatrace was actually nice because we didn't have to actually map our users. We're writing back what user within Enterprise Alert did this, and Dynatrace didn't require that our user actually be created in there. So that was kind of nice. So it just really depends on the different systems and what they require to write back to, and like I said, we can of course help you with that. Okay. A couple of other things that we've implemented here with the two-way REST. So the Swagger page that we're all used to seeing, we had originally you're used to just seeing these events here. Okay. What we've put in place now is the actual get alert information. Okay, so what we would need in order to do this is we need the alert ID and just an API key to authenticate. Okay, this can work for any of the alerts that come through. The only requirement that we have here is have at least one REST API event source. So you could be just authentication API, but we need this key to be able to authenticate. Okay, now the alert ID, I want to show you guys how to get that. So if we go back and we look at our alert, all right, so this is the alert that came through, 439, all right. We look at the XML, and if you scroll to the bottom, this is always where this is, okay. So at the bottom of every alert that happens in the XML, we have this policy section, okay. And in the policy, this is the policy that was actually triggered when the event came through. But this result ID, 1091, that is your internal alert ID that we need to use. Okay, so if we come over to Swagger and we put in 1091 here, now we're able to get all the information pertaining to that alert. Okay, so we see it went to me. This is the destination. I got it. Here's all the event ID information. Going through what channels was used, notification channels was used, the times that all these things were acknowledged. Here's my need help annotation. We give you all the details that is pertaining around that alert itself. Okay. And finally my closure, I fixed it, and of course we're going to be able to provide all of the alert details as well. Okay, so this is pretty powerful. We've been asked for this a couple times, I think, and being able to actually pull the information out. We don't have to do queries on the database anymore to find out what user did what with what alert. We can just simply run this, and it can be run anywhere. All right, so if we use Rester here and we do the same thing, was it 91? All right, so it's basically you just need to accept JSON format and you have your API key in your header. Okay, so this is now available, but you know with EA9. Questions? What do you guys think about the two-way REST functionality and GET functionality? I'm going to go ahead and close these out so my phone stops going off on me. Okay. All right, and finally, we do have a new online knowledge base. Okay, so we, the support team has worked tirelessly to try to put in as many solutions as we can. What are we providing with the knowledge base? FAQs, of course, helpful hints and tricks, such as how do you slow down the text speed on the voice calls that are being delivered. You name it. If you guys ask us a question through the, coming through emails and support box and things, that will eventually, it's going to make its way into the knowledge base. Okay. Any questions, step-by-step procedures that we need to work with you on and do, we're going to now put in this knowledge base. Okay. So what you'll start seeing from support, well, first, let me show you where it is. So here under Enterprise Alert, we have a new online knowledge base here. So it is available on the website. It is in the web portal as well under the help. Here's our online knowledge base here. So new tile, just as it were, I recommend bookmarking it. All right, so here it is. This is, the support how-to. We try to break it up into different sections to help you out. Easy search functionality here. So let's just put in, how do I generate a hardware ID? So there you go. Comes through all based on keywords and things like that. We thank you guys for all the comments and feedback that you had from the user group when we first, the beta testers that were looking at this. So now this knowledge base is live and available, okay? What you'll start seeing some from support is when we address the questions and issues that you guys are running into, we will probably have little links following down at the bottom saying, hey, thanks for that question. Here's a brief summary here, but you can find more details on the knowledge base, which we'll try to provide more screenshots in here and walkthroughs, step-by-step procedures, things like that. Okay, so if it was helpful, let us know. Yes, no, even if it's not helpful, you can tell us that too. Any feedback that you can give us here on the knowledge base is definitely going to help us improve it.